Hello, welcome to this very special edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace, reporting from the Spectrum Theater. Welcome to another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace, reporting from the Black Spectrum Theater here in Queens, New York. Blessing the band stage tonight in a very rare and intimate performance, performing his stand-up as well as commentary, is civil rights icon as well as activist, Mr. Dick Gregory. Now, for well over 6 decades, Mr. Gregory has been on the front lines advocating the rights of civil rights as well as humanitarian issues both here and abroad. As you might know, in 1968, Mr. Gregory was the first person of color to run for president, and on the heels of Mr. President Barack Obama's presidency is about to end in about another 100 days. I had a chance to sit down with Mr. Gregory to, talk about this legacy of Mr. Obama, what he thinks about what the future is going to bring for him as his legacy ends, as well as talk about the current situations going on, as well as issues going on within the black community, the black rights movements, including the Black Lives Matter movement, as well as issues pertaining to equality, as well as Wall Street. So sit back, relax, and enjoy highlights of Mr. Dick Gregory performing live tonight here at the Black Spectrum Theater here in Queens, New York, as part of the Pace Report.
I'll go all over the world. Scare you the money these crackers pay me. Why? Because they know I don't lie, and I tell the truth, and they can't feel no hatred. That's what it's about. Then they get slick. You niggas and ruin these white folks. Mr. Gregory, we would like to ask you, I think we paid you $250,000. You did, and the check's already cashed and spent. So what you want to do? Well, the dinner tonight, but it's a group of us, would like for you to sit with us and explain to us what some of the things that's on your mind. See how clever that is? Now most of you niggas would tuck your lips and smile. Oh, I get into my nigger back. You say y'all want me to tell y'all what's on my mind? Yes, that's what we like. Well, I'm trying to figure out what happened to albinos after high school. Every high school got an albino, then they disappeared. That don't bother you, nigga? I'm in nightclubs every night, never seen the albino. I'm on planes every day, never seen the albino. I go work at jail, ain't never seen the albino. You ain't never heard a woman say, the albino raped me, that'd be easy to catch. That's all I want to know, white lady, is where are they? You crackers know everything. I know you know where they are. That's what's bothering me. Where are the albinos? Supermarket, you shop, you ain't never seen an albino on there. What they eat? You ain't never seen them buy no toilet paper? Oh. Then she gets slick. She said, well, what's the second thing that's on your mind? I say, I've never seen a baby pigeon. So what do you mean? Nigga, you ain't neither. Every time I see a pigeon, they sitting on the electric wire rocking. They've been here billions of years. Where'd they sit before there's electric wires? I have never seen no baby pigeon. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Then they don't know what to say. Oh, wow. So I'm getting ready to open me up a black airline. Now, I'm not asking you black folks for money. I need 2 white folks to join the company so I qualify for minority loans. And it's gonna be a real black company. You niggas get companies and name it something so white folk don't know it's black. My airline gonna be called Tamika Air. although we leave late, but we get your ass there on time. And we can guarantee you white folks will never lose a bag because you ain't gonna bring none on. And I'll let white folks know you got a complaint about the airline, blame it on white folks. You've been at the airport, 99.9% white folks. Now, if you got a problem with Greyhound, bring it to me. We will never tolerate a Greyhound what you practice tolerate at the airport. Make you walk 6 blocks to get on a jet. And you don't say nothing. The Greyhound, they'll bring that bus up to your toe. Ain't no wind gonna tolerate it to your toe. Lose your bag and act like you didn't have one. Greyhound lose your bag and they said, we 3 blocks from the terminal. Don't go looking for your bags. They all got ripped off in Memphis. A white boy sitting next to me, he had to go to a business meeting and the airport was shut down because of the weather. He said, Guy, what do you do? I said, do what? About your bag. I said, at the airport say lost and found. Greyhound, they got a big sign just say lost. They never pretend they're gonna find.
I want to ask you about this current situation. You were the first person of color to run for president, and now that Obama has about 100 days left, what do you think, and what do you think about the last 8 years that President Obama has been president?
Well, you really can't answer that fairly with the mess he inherited. I mean, he came in, the economy was bad. White folks had never planned on sending their children to school nowhere but Harvard, Princeton, or Yale. And so he gets in, it's so bad, they're in community colleges. So they bring a hostility with them that they never thought they had in them with the conditions they're going through now. I mean, McDonald's, huh? They sell carrots and beets and everything. Why? This is New Orleans. You turn on TV and see white folks say buy 1 suit, get 7 free. It's the economy. They've never, you got white folks that have never known a bad economy. And now they never known a good one.
When you started and when you ran for politics in 67 and also 68, you decided to start a new party, and it seems that right now the Democratic as well as the Republican Party have lost touch with the American public. What is going to start happening now?
I have no idea. I didn't start no new party. I ran as an independent write-in. I wasn't with no party.
So do you think that the two-tier party system has run its course in these times, these economic...
It's been run its course. Okay, all the stealing and stuff that go on, we know it. We used to talk about the Daily Machine all over the world, how dead people vote. Now we're going to act like, oh, it don't exist. We know it exists. We know it exists.
Oh, white folks could just really get with you niggas and hear the shit y'all be saying when they ain't around. Y'all know you're smarter than white folks, but you don't act like when you're around them. Hmm? You know that. Hmm? I look at Trump. All he do is take a page out your Christian Bible, and you don't see that, nigga? Huh? You don't see that? King James? You niggas think you so close to God, you don't even know God. King James? My mom and them had me believing that he wrote the Bible. I didn't know King James was king of England till I was grown. And he was such a weird, strange homosexual. He hated women so bad he killed his mother, and his lover was Lord Buckingham, who Buckingham Palace named after. Huh? When y'all run around talking about homosexuals and talk about that, oh, you old niggas knew every preacher that was gay. Huh? Now you act like, oh my God, what? Don't ask, don't tell. All that, what does that mean? Hmm? White folk crazy. Don't ask, don't tell. You come in the military, we won't ask you if you're gay, don't you tell us. So you think it started then? What do you think about George Washington with them tight satin pants on? Them semi-high heel shoes, huh? With the women's wigs on. George Washington. And them blouses he was wearing. But they tell you he a hero. So your children look at that slave, thug, ungodly pimp. When will the Jews one day raise their children looking at them respecting Hitler, the Washington Monument and all that stuff? They were nothing but punk pimps, but you don't want to talk about that. And the one thing I can say to you white folks, I know there's a couple of you here and I just want to set the record straight. I'll be saying something about white folks tonight, but I won't be talking about you. See, I'm one of the few niggas that advocate that white ain't a color, it's an attitude. And if you ain't got trillions of dollars in the bank, you can't be white. And I don't know why you niggas don't tell them. And I'm gonna say to you white folks here that don't know what I'm talking about, Monday, call the stock market. And while you talking, if you can't determine it's gonna go up or come down, you ain't white. And we help you believe you white. Queen Elizabeth, the richest white woman on the planet. She made $360 million every 24 hours, just interest on her money. And who hates her is the people in Northern Ireland. Killed her uncle. Hate her. So you niggas, if them crackers in Northern Ireland said, Queen Elizabeth, you ain't nothing but a hoe, you ain't got no money, bitch. No, you laugh, that's the same thing you doing. Ex-slave, ignorant white boy. Call you a nigger and you react to it. That's like her trying to react, one of the richest women in the world, to some folk that hate her. You can never be a nigger. And you can never be a billionaire. I like to call you a nigga, you get mad, call you big air, you smile. Something's wrong. Somebody that ain't never like you can call you something and you put inside. And you don't feel it. Inside. You don't feel it. And one thing I can say, because I ain't a nigga that cut white folks no slack. But one thing I can say, I got to take my hat off to you white folks. Because if nigga had a baby as ugly as Trump, they never would have let that nigga out the basement. From the time he was born till now, he wouldn't know what outside looked like. Them white folk parade that old ugly thing around and make him think he ain't ugly. Big watermelon head. Ugly. Hate women. A whole lot of gays hate women. Huh? That's what you looking at, and you act like this is something new because them crackers out there, they made that punk. Huh? George Wallace did it before him. But he didn't do it with their permission, so they put a bullet through him. So when are y'all gonna wake up and start acting like what you think you are?
I want to shift topics just a second. The entertainment industry. It seems that right now we still have a lack of diversity when it comes to acknowledging products as well as topics of color when we're dealing in Hollywood. And you kicked in the door many, many years ago. What are some of the things now that we have to focus on as far as people of color to produce our own content?
Let me say this. We got to be fools. Nobody in the history of this planet ever got liberated through entertainers or athletes. Huh? Ask yourself that. Nobody. When you go to war, you don't go to entertain, you go to kill or be killed. We the only people that sit around and thinking athletes is a bunch of shit, man. Huh? You know any country in the history of the planet got liberated because of entertainers or only us, we tolerate that. But in America, wants your ass to go to war, you ain't going blowing no horn. That's what this is about.
Because it seems it's apparent that Hollywood right now only wants to see us as slaves or shucking the job.
You into Hollywood. Hollywood ain't liberated us. We ain't got the right because of Hollywood. Did you see the movie Selma?
Yes, sir.
You see where the church got blowed up?
Yes, sir.
That was in Birmingham. It didn't happen in Selma. So why you expect anything out of Hollywood, man? Huh?
Because it seems that we've been brainwashed and conditioned through one fear and also, like you said, misrepresentation of our character and our voice.
But Hollywood's not going to straighten that up. If I want to know how old you are, I ain't going to ask Hollywood. That's their game. That's their game. And only black folks who ain't going to do nothing think you going to get something out of a goddamn entertainer. That's your fault. You look at the world, huh? Brilliant brain surgeons, and they didn't get it from Hollywood. Why you keep running back to that? You with this mic here can do more to change things than Hollywood. So what is this about? You talking to the fucking master, man, and you keep asking me the same thing. I ain't some punk on the street. I said it ain't about entertainment. And I'd be insulted if a bunch of niggas get together and try to liberate my through jokes and comedy. It's never happened. So why we think it's gonna happen? That's what I'm saying.
Mr. Gregory, one of my heroes is Amiri Baraka, who I really loved and respected. And he's a guy that encouraged me to champion the voice of being independent, but also have the fire of being a black person to tell stories. I want to know, in your perspective, at 84 years old,
I'm going to say this again, I'm going to leave. Entertainment ain't never liberated nobody. Now, you might have, and you might believe it, huh? 1,000 years from now, when they talk about the greatest movement in the history of the planet, it won't be about athletes and entertainment. You look at football, and what do I see? Slaves all over again. The niggas in the field with the football and place the cotton, and the white boy sitting on the bench trying to look intelligent. Huh? The scandals that come out that bullshit. What scandals came out of that movement? Old folks, young folks, black folks, white folks, ready to die. Niggas ain't ready to die for nothing. But then you come along and think you getting something. I have no problem with that. But I never want to be liberated by an entertainer or athlete. All the history you ever read, it wasn't no all these athletes you talk about, name one of them got a major company. Huh? Name one. Okay? None. And how you gonna sit here and waste your time and my time? There's some folks would like to. I don't. I was out there. I spent millions of dollars. I took my children's money for school and gave it to the movement. So you ain't talking just to some nigga. You talking to somebody who was ready to die. Okay? That's who you talking to. So you waste my time and insult me, tell me about the entertainment. That's nice. There's a whole lot of people out here that had people give them money or send them to school. That ain't liberation, nigga, for one person. Huh? The masses. Huh? The millions of school buses they had to buy because a new thing come through. That's what I'm talking about. Now, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't care. But don't sit here and tell me a master entertainer, nigga, and I'm telling you it don't count. But if you want to believe that shit, that's you. That's you. And all I say to an intelligent guy, go through the history books and see in liberation have everybody went back and got entertainers or athletes. That's all I'm saying. America got the greatest army in the world. Huh? And it didn't come from entertainers or athletes. That's all I'm saying. No more, no less. When you got Muhammad Ali, he wasn't no athlete. He sit there and said to white people, Elijah Muhammad did something ain't never happened before. He got another religious group that would never be a Muslim to change their diet. And we're going to see them wasting our time talking about some show business niggas that ain't done nothing. Look at Elijah Muhammad. Look at Marcus Garvey. Huh? Marcus Garvey's raised more money than anybody off the stock market. We ain't going to talk about him. Well, that's good for you. I've had people that came up and told me had nothing to do with liberation. Nothing to do with liberation. Fucking entertainers. That's a game, man. A game. That's all it is. And 30 years from now, you won't remember who that was. 1,000 years from now, the movement will be talked about, not the entertainers. Who was the greatest singer 100 years ago? Huh? Who was the greatest tap dancer 50 years ago? Who cares? But if you're doing an entertainment show, that's your arrow. Okay? You brilliant at it. I wouldn't give 2 feet, and I know them all. Okay? I know them all. The greatest song that's ever been written, the Beatles. Imagine, I wrote that. Huh? Okay? White boy called me and said we was interviewing, listening to the tapes, and we asked him, he said, you wrote it. That ain't important. Sells 2.5 million records every day. That ain't something I want to be remembered by. That's what I'm saying. I'm the boss. I'm a soldier. You ain't just talking to some goddamn punk in the street. I went south and knew I could die, and I walk up on this goddamn stage. I'd be shocked if somebody shot at me. Niggas ain't putting nothing on the damn line. That ain't no problem, because I don't expect. I'm going to say this again. You with that mic can do more for the humanities than 99% of all black and white athletes put together. But you don't see that? Huh? You don't feel that? That's what you have. If you followed the basketball playoff 3 months ago, that black man's wife said the games was fixed, and nobody cared. But that a white boy said it, it had been the talk of the town. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. No more, no less. That's all.
Jazz. I was digging the brothers. But there's always one thing when I think about jazz. Nina Simone told the whole state to go to hell. God damn you, Mississippi. Not one black jazz man has ever publicly said anything about them redneck murdering crackers. Just a woman. And y'all don't understand that? Billie Holiday talked about hanging niggas from trees. Name me a black jazz male that uttered a word about what we was going through, but you niggas don't understand that. Because that white boy just transferred everything to you, and you think you got, so you ain't got no power. Go to war, kill, come back. And that Korean and shot your foot off can open up a shop next door to where you live, and nigga, you can't get one and you can't stop him. It's a game. And so I just say thanks to those who's in here who know who you are and know what you've done. New York Times, Washington Post, they won't write about you. There's a universal God. Let's see what you're doing.
At 84 years old, you have written and you've also read a lot. What do you suggest, and what are some of the things that you recommend people to read to start that liberation movement?
I don't. There's so much new stuff out here. This is my first time I ever talked with you. There's 100 of you out here. And I'm not stupid enough to believe I can recommend somebody. There's so much stuff have happened. My son became the financial analyst for the city of New York. He couldn't tell them white folks how to spend $34 billion, but they couldn't until he signed it. There's a whole lot of black folks out there that's doing things we don't know who they are. But it's happening every day. Powell, one of the brilliant minds, all the social legislation on the planet, he wrote. And they picked it up from him. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Okay? So you look at it, and you see it, and it's there. But with the question you asked me, I couldn't tell you. The number one school, charter school, in the world is at Howard University. My son put that together. Okay? He put that together. And them little tots go to 3 levels of school. Everybody that went to that school, little tots, 98% of them finished college. There's people out here just doing stuff every day. But Michael Jackson come to town, and they land around the planet. That's the entertainment piece. That's the entertainment piece. There's a brother sitting down there now, has one of the most powerful shows in America. Okay? On XM. And anytime anything happens, they run and turn it on, see what he got to say. They don't go look at the goddamn basketball game. Okay? And I'm going to say this again. You need to sit home one day and think about the people you have touched. Not from playing basketball. That's safe. Stuff you sit there and say. Ain't no game, man. There's the children here. Ain't no game. But the rest of them, man, they got a piece of paper and what to say. And they got to get permission. You take this little ignorant punk, Cedric the Entertainer, in the first movie that he was in, where he said Dr. King wasn't nothing but a punk, and Rosa Parks didn't do anything. She's just too tired to move her big fat black ass. Barbershop. But had he said that for Queen Elizabeth, the nigga been dead. Okay? And then niggas went to the movie to see it. This punk. He wouldn't be where he was had King and people not died. I expect that out of Entertainer. I don't expect nobody to tell me they liberated somebody. If niggas was playing basketball. Basketball. When the motherfucker found out that Bill Cosby was serious about buying NBC, they killed his son. Nobody want to talk about that. This bullshit now they have to be about the property he owns in Pennsylvania has more oil underneath than Kuwait. Okay? But we want to hear some gossip and don't even know what the real facts are. That's all I'm saying. You sit there and you see a black woman on a $20 bill. Entertainers didn't get that. Entertainers didn't get that. It was a movement. That ain't there for laughs. Oscar, the #1 TV show in the world. Oscar. What color does it look like you? Where'd it come from? 2 black men who invented movies. That's where it come from. Him and his brother. And that's why they won't never tell you nothing but Oscar. Oh, wait a minute. Oscar Michaud. Okay? That's what I'm saying. So that's what the whole piece is, man. The whole piece is. So again, you have the power, not athletes. Not athletes. You have the power. And once you know that, you can call people up and they call in, what do you think about so-and-so, so-and-so? The games are fixed. You saw the Super Bowl. One of the brilliant football minds in the world playing against a white boy about to get indicted. And the people I know made big money because they know that black man wasn't going to win. And I don't know if you looked at it, they stopped the game 8 times to tighten up their cleats because they had something in the grass and something in the cleats. That's why they kept slipping. That's what when you know what you're doing out there, like you do. You don't know it. Like him, he don't know how many white folks look at this show because they ain't going to call in till they turn it on listen. And that's what you have to understand. The white folks, man, they stopped messing with us when Russ Limbaugh come on because they had somebody to tell them what to do. Before that, man, they stayed angry. And now you got all these right-wing shows. Thank you, man.
That'll do it again for this very special edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace, reporting from the Black Spectrum Theater here in Queens, New York. I'd like to personally thank the incomparable Dick Gregory for his time. Also, I'd like to personally thank the staff and management here at the Black Spectrum Theater. Please check out for more show information as well as directions here at the Black Spectrum Theater at www.theblackspectrum.com. As always, please visit my website, www.thepacereport.com, for my weekly column as well as my past segments. Until next time, remember, if it's in the groove, it'll make you move. Until next time, peace.